Thank you, Zainab, for reminding I was not recording. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's say that we are writing a program in the Python, and what we have to do is repeat or do something when a certain condition is true. Let's say that I write number is equal to writing a code to take number as input in form of an integer. So you are going to tell that this number is an integer and you are going to input this number by the user. And I would say enter a number between 10 and 20. So what happens at this moment is if I print, let's say, the number you entered is number, we all know what is going to happen. First, we are going to, let's say, run it, and this condition, this statement is going to come in front of us, which says enter a number between 10 and 20. I'm running this. So in order to run this, you can go to this run button and click on run, or you can use the short keys. You can use it's the similar way in Python idle as well. I can show you that in Python idle as well. We are going to say print the number you entered. The number you entered is number. So let's say that if I enter a number between 10 and 20, which is 18, it works for that. But let's say that I enter a number which is not between 10 and 20. Let's say I enter 25. It still works. It does not stop or it does not break. So we can make it to break this. We can uh, help ourselves to make it in a way that it does not do the same mistake and it follows a certain instruction for that. So for that thing, what we are going to do is use a while loop for that. Let's say I initialize a value for the number. The value for the number that I initialize is 10. I have given this number readily to this variable. Now when I will print the saved number, you would see that the already saved value of the number is as the value we have recorded is 10 at this moment. So it is going to tell you that the saved number is 10, the number that you have used previously. Now I would try to use a while loop to figure out what value should uh, what values I'm taking and what it should be in a certain condition. So I'm going to write a while statement. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to write a while statement and write the statement while number is greater than equal to 20 and number is less than equal to 40. Then again use number as number is equal to now input write that input statement. Twenty and 40 and end this. new number is number. Now let's see what happens with that. The process finished with the code with the code with the exit code 0 because it does not initiate. Why it would not initiate is because the value that we saved previously for the number was 10, but it should be between 20 and 40. But let's say that if I repeat this and write this value to be 20 here, and if I try to rerun it, what would happen? Now it is going to ask me to enter a number. Now let's say that I enter the number to be 45. What happens? It prints the new number to be 45, which was not between 20 and 40.
Teacher, what are you making? What is?
So today we are going to work on the while loop. While loop basically allows us to add some conditions into our program that can help us to, you can say, restrict our inputs at certain levels. For example, let me give you this example. The same example that I was using, if I introduce a number, I would try to write a simple code. X is equal to int input, enter a number between 10 and 20. You know that previously we couldn't do that. Now we might be able to do it by using the while loop. In this while condition, what I can do is I can give the condition. What condition do I need to follow to perform a certain task? Otherwise, I can give another condition that what do I need to do. For example, I would say that run this program if number or x value that I am using here is greater than equal to 10 and is less than equal to 20. So if the value of x is between 10 and 20, then this statement that I'm going to write now is going to happen. Let's say what is going to happen is I'm going to say that x is equal to x plus 1, and then I'm going to say print the value is x. So now this condition that I have used while is going to help me restrict my inputs to only these limits. I can enter only a number between 10 and 20. You can see what would happen when I would enter a number which is not between 10 and 20. Let's run this program and see what happens. So after every while statement, you would have to use the semicolon, otherwise you would get a syntax error, the point that I missed. So let's say that now we try to add a number which is not between this range, not within this range, not within 10 or 20. Just write any number, let's say. Let's say that I write 25 now. What would happen if I write 25? Should it take the number? I ask, if I write 25 here, so should it accept it?
Yes, I think.
You think that it should accept it. But let's say that if I give the condition that the number should be more than 10 and less than 20, then should it accept this?
No.
So let's say that now we have given this condition that the number should be more than 10 and less than 20. And still I write a number which is more than 20 or less than 10. Let's say I write 25. This program at this point is going to fail. It would not work after this step. You see that the program has not done anything because the input that we entered did not meet this criteria. So this is how you restrict inputs. Now, in this program, you can only write a number which is more than 10 and less than 20. If you write a number which is less than 10 or more than 20, this program would not work. Do you understand the point here, Ayad?
Yes.
And what is helping us to do that? This while condition. Okay. This while condition
Okay.
is helping us to restrict our inputs. Now, if I will add a number which is less than 10, let's say I have entered 5, you would still see that the program is not working. Now, the next question is what happens if we write a number between this range? If we write, let's say 11. So 11 is basically between 10 and 20, right? So if we
Yeah.
write 11, so the program should do something different. So this is something that it would do. What is it doing? Can someone tell me what is happening here? What did this program do?
It
I don't
wrote
know.
till 21.
Yes, what it does was it followed this condition for the value of x, and these two statements were executed whenever this condition was met. Now, let me draw a table for that to explain it to you more clearly. Keep watching this side of the statement, and I'm going to write this statement here. I'm going to draw this table here. So in order to draw a table, I will go to insert and draw a table. Value of x, value of x plus 1, output value. Now let's try to make it a little smaller. Bring it on this side. And bring it on this side. Okay, so here when we tried to solve that first, what was the value of x that we entered? We entered the value of x to be 11, right? When we entered the value to be 11 here, this condition checked if the value was between 10 and 20. If the condition was true, as the condition was true, this condition was true, that 11 was in this range of 10 and 20. So this statement accepted this condition, and further followed the instructions that should be followed if the condition is true. So if this condition was true, it followed this instruction which said x is equal to x plus 1. So what it did was it changed the value of x to x plus 1. Now the value of x was 11. What would happen to 11 if we added plus 1 to it? 11 plus 1 would become
12.
12.
Well,
And the output value became 12. So that is why you are seeing this, the value is 12. So this process repeated one time and again went into this one because this is a loop. So these two steps are going to repeat many numbers of times. Okay? Because this is a loop, this is a loop. Loop means a circle. So these values are going to repeat many numbers of times until we fail this condition or until this condition becomes invalid. So when we got this value of x to be 12 now, so what do you think? Was this 12 a part of this range?
No.
Did,
no.
did 12 did 12 fall in this range? Was 12 greater than 10 and lesser than 20?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so that means the condition again became valid, right? So this would follow the same process once again. Now what is happening? It is going to add 12 plus 1 and make it 13. The output value therefore becomes 13 and you get this other second output which says the value is 13. Similarly, when it became 13, it again checked this condition, and according to the condition that we had given, 13 is still valid. 13 is bigger
Teacher,
than 10 and lesser than 20. Yes, Enough?
well, the number should be more than 10 and less than 20, but over here, um, but over here it's more than 20.
You see, you are talking about the 21, right? The last value.
Yes.
But I have not reached the last value yet. I will explain that to you once I reach it there. So follow where I am right now so that you can get a clarity on that. Currently, we are here. That is 13. We have got 13. And this 13 lies within this range of 10 and 20, right? So what would happen is it would add 1 onto it and it would become 14. And we will get an answer to be 14. Similarly, this process would keep on following. From 14, when we will have 14 at the start, it still falls in this range and we will get the value of 15. Now, after 15, we will say that 15 also falls in this range. So it is going to add its value to plus 1 and become 16 and print 16 also. So the value is 16 is also here because that 15 was valid. Now 16 is the new value that needs to check if it falls in this condition. So this value 16 still falls in this condition, and this is going to follow the same process and become 17, and it is going to print 17 as well. After that, we are going to have 17 as the x value. X value is going to keep on updating itself. It started with 11 and now it has reached to 17. So the value 17 also falls in this category. So it would increase itself to one more value and would become 18. And the printout would be 18. So we are here at this moment. After this one, after this 18th one, the 18 is going to come here at the start, check if it falls in this condition. That is true. 18 is bigger than 10 and lesser than 20, which is fine. Now it is going to check these two values and perform these functions. So it is going to add 1 to that and it is going to become 19 and print 19 as well. Now the next thing is, it is going to say 19 and check if 19 falls in this category. 19 still falls in this category, which means that 19 is bigger than 10 and lesser than 20. And this is going to follow this instruction again, and it is going to become 19 is equal to x is equal to 19 plus 1. So 19 plus 1 is going to become 20, and we are going to print the value to be 20 here. Now, when it reaches to 20, see, you have got the 20 here. So it checks this condition for 20 as well. So does 20 fall in this range? It is
Yes.
bigger
No.
than 20 falls in this range. Why? Because of one reason. You say we are saying the number should be equal to 10 or more than 10, or the number should be equal to 20 or less than 20. So the number that we have right now is equal to 20. So which means that this number is still in the condition, right? As the 20 is still in the condition, we are going to add it by 1 and it is going to become 21, and the print value is going to be 21. So this print value is obtained through that. But let's say that instead of having this equal sign here, we had this less than sign only and not less than equal to, and we had tried to run it, this could have happened. I would say 11. And now you can see that it does not show a value which is 21. Why? Because it is now going to stop till here. And when it is going to check this value within this loop, this value is going to become invalid. It is going to become invalid for one reason, because this value is equal to 20 and not less than 20. But when we were using this logic here, which said less than or equal to, then 20 should fall in this one. And the value that you would get, the last value would be 21. Something like that. You would see that the last value that you were getting is 21. And it doesn't matter whichever number you would use. It does not matter whichever number do you use. Let's say that even I use 15 now, the last value would still be 21. It is going to start from a different number, but the last value will always be 21. So what do you guys think about today's lesson? Was the while loop interesting?
Yes. Yes.
So this is like
Yeah.
a very simple code that you have to practice. I will share the video as well, and I'm sharing this code right now with you guys so that you can practice it on your own. While loops are very essential. I will show you how to use while loops more, you can say professionally, in many other applications also, but that may be next week. The next week I'm going to show you more applications of these while loops. Okay. Anything that you guys want to ask?
Yes.
What do you want to ask?
The question is that today why you showed more applications.
Yes, now we are going towards next further applications of that. The loops, there are two types of loops. One is a for loop, one is the while loop. We had already learned how to use the for loop. So today I decided that we should learn about the while loop as well, so that you know about both the loops. And in the next week, yes, Zainab, you want to say something?
When was while loop invented?
Sorry?
When was while loop invented?
See, while loop is kind of very old. It is not used in Python only. It was used in all of the programming language that we had earlier than that. It is basically a conditional loop. So that is why it is very important to have this in all the programming languages, because programming languages help us to deal with different types of conditions and different types of logics. That is why it has been a part of like every programming language that has been developed so far.
Okay. And why was while loop invented?
The while loop was designed so that people could restrict input. They could try to repeat the same thing for a certain number of values. So that is why the while loop was invented. The while loop was designed actually. It was not invented, it was designed. Thank you so much everyone for joining the class.